In the vast observation chamber of the Nexus Alliance's central hub, High Observer Sarah Chen stood motionless before the quantum display, her iridescent scales reflecting the soft blue glow of countless star charts. The display showed the unstoppable advance of what the Alliance now called the Void Swarm, a phenomenon that defied their most advanced scientific understanding. "Another system has gone dark," announced her aide, Val Rem, his voice carrying the weight of countless similar reports. The Centauri Collective, 3 billion souls, simply silent. Zira's secondary hearts constricted with grief. The Centauri had been masters of psychic technology, their civilization spanning 12 star systems. Now they were just another victim of the inexorable tide that threatened to consume all sentient life in the galaxy. The Void Swarm wasn't like anything the Nexus Alliance had encountered in its 50,000 years of existence. It didn't destroy planets or consume resources. Instead, it devoured consciousness itself, leaving behind empty shells of once vibrant civilizations. Bodies remained intact, ships continued to orbit, but the spark of sentience, what many species called the soul, vanished without a trace. "Show me Earth again," Zira commanded, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. The display shifted to a small blue-green planet in an unremarkable spiral arm of the galaxy. For centuries, the Alliance had watched this world, following their prime directive of non-interference with developing civilizations. But now, their observations had taken on a new urgency. "High Observer," Val Rem began hesitantly, "the Council grows increasingly concerned about your fixation with the humans. They are centuries behind us technologically. Many still deny the existence of extraterrestrial life. How could they possibly help against the Void Swarm?" Zira's outer membrane rippled with something approaching what humans would call a smile. "Tell me, Val Rem, what do you see when you look at their history?" The aide accessed the relevant data streams, projecting a rapid sequence of human historical events. "I see chaos, High Observer. Conflict, warfare, technological progress interrupted by periods of decline. Their development is erratic, unpredictable. They lack the unified purpose that marked the rise of every other spacefaring race." "Exactly." Zira expanded the display, showing hundreds of human neural patterns simultaneously. Every other species in the Alliance evolved through predictable stages. Logic led to cooperation, cooperation to unity, unity to technological advancement. But humans, she paused, focusing on a particularly complex neural pattern. Humans are different. The display shifted to show Earth's current state, a planet of contradictions. Clean fusion power plants operated alongside primitive combustion engines. Quantum computers shared networks with ancient silicon-based devices. Some humans reached for the stars while others clung to ancient traditions. "Their chaos is their strength," Zira continued. "Every human mind is a universe of contradictions. They dream impossible dreams and then, through sheer determination, make them possible. They write stories about faster-than-light travel centuries before achieving spaceflight. They imagine communication with aliens long before leaving their atmosphere." Val Rem's sensor arrays pulsed with skepticism. "But the Void Swarm?" "The Void Swarm consumes consciousness," Zira interrupted. "It feeds on the ordered, predictable patterns of thought that all Alliance species share. But human consciousness," she brought up a comparative analysis. "Human minds are like quantum storms. They leap from thought to thought in patterns that defy prediction. They believe contradictory things simultaneously. They hope when hope is illogical, fight when victory is impossible, and most importantly, they survive." The display showed humanity's numerous close calls with extinction. Ice ages, plagues, world wars, climate disasters. Each time, they had not merely survived but emerged stronger, more adaptable, more innovative. "The Council has authorized maximum surveillance of Earth for the past decade," Val Rem noted. "What have we learned?" Zira's outer membrane rippled with excitement. "They're preparing, Val Rem. Not because they know about us or the Void Swarm, but because they've imagined thousands of scenarios like this in their stories, their games, their military simulations. They've been fighting imaginary alien invasions for longer than they've had powered flight. She brought up images of human military installations, focusing on certain energy signatures that had puzzled Alliance observers for years. These facilities, they're not as primitive as they appear. The humans are developing technology along paths we never considered, combining principles we thought were incompatible. They're achieving results that shouldn't be possible at their level of development. You believe they've been deliberately hiding their true capabilities. Val-Rem's thought patterns registered shock. Not hiding, Zyra corrected. Exploring every possibility, no matter how improbable. Their greatest minds are free to pursue paths that our logic would reject as impossible. And some of those paths. She highlighted several human research projects that the Alliance had been monitoring. Some of those paths might be exactly what we need. A new alert flashed across the display. Another system had gone dark. The Void Swarm was accelerating its advance, consuming entire civilizations in days rather than weeks. The Alliance's most optimistic projections showed less than 6 months before the swarm reached the core worlds. "We're out of options, Val-Rem," Zyra said softly. "The Council has rejected every proposal based on conventional logic. Perhaps it's time to try something illogical." She began composing a message, not to the Council, but to her network of supporters within the Alliance. Humanity's greatest strength isn't their technology or their resources. It's their ability to face the impossible without flinching, to find solutions where we see only problems. You're going to contact them. Val-Rem's thought patterns radiated alarm. Without Council approval? No. Zyra's outer membrane rippled with grim determination. "I'm going to make sure they contact us. The humans have been reaching out to the stars for centuries, asking if anyone is out there. It's time we answered, not as superior beings offering guidance, but as equals asking for help." She initiated a subtle change in the Alliance's sensor shadow fields around Earth, knowing that human scientists would detect the fluctuation. It wasn't a direct violation of the non-interference directive, but it would be impossible for humans to miss. "And then?" Val-Rem asked. "And then," Zyra said, watching the quantum display cycle through images of human achievement, determination, and endless creativity. "We hope that humanity's chaos proves stronger than the void's hunger for order. Because if it doesn't, the galaxy as we know it will cease to exist." The message was simple, a pattern in the shadow field fluctuations that any advanced human sensors would recognize as artificial. Not a plea for help or a warning of doom. Just proof that humanity wasn't alone in the universe. What they did with that knowledge would determine not only their fate, but the fate of all sentient life in the galaxy. As Zyra watched the message propagate through space toward Earth, she felt something she hadn't experienced in a long time. Hope. It wasn't logical. It wasn't based on data or probability calculations. It was, she realized with amusement, an entirely human feeling. The silent watchers had broken their silence. Now they could only wait to see how humanity would respond to the knowledge that they weren't alone, and that the galaxy needed them more than they could possibly imagine. Commander Sarah Chen stood in the heart of Project Sentinel, 3 kilometers beneath the Atacama Desert, studying the anomaly readings with an expression that betrayed nothing of her inner excitement. Around her, the most advanced quantum computing array on Earth, or at least the most advanced one known to the public, processed streams of data from the mysterious signal. "It's definitely artificial," Dr. Marcus Rivera confirmed, his fingers dancing across holographic displays. "The pattern repeats with a precision that couldn't occur naturally. Someone out there wants us to notice them." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. After 15 years of running Project Sentinel, the moment they had prepared for was finally here. How many others have detected it? SETI picked it up immediately. Every major observatory on Earth is lighting up. Chinese, Russian, and European space agencies are all over it. Marcus paused, checking another data stream. But they're only seeing the surface pattern. None of them have cracked the underlying quantum signature. Of course they hadn't. That's why Project Sentinel existed, not just to watch for alien contact, but to understand it when it came. The facility around them might have seemed impressive to most of Earth's scientific community, but it was just the public face of something far more extensive. Dr. Rivera, Sarah said carefully, "Initiate Protocol Omega." Marcus's hands froze above the controls. "Are you sure?" "Once we start, look at these readings." Sarah expanded a particular data set. "These aren't just saying hello. There's fear in this signal. Urgency. Whoever sent this needs help, and they're breaking their own rules to ask for it." The quantum computers hummed as Marcus input his authorization code. Throughout the facility, hidden systems began to wake up. Technology that shouldn't have been possible at humanity's current level of development. Sarah pressed her palm against a seemingly ordinary wall panel. A DNA scanner and quantum consciousness reader confirmed her identity, and a new chamber opened, one that didn't exist in any official blueprints. Inside, rows of quantum neural interfaces lined the walls, each connected to what appeared to be a modified pilot's chair. "Send the alert," she ordered. "I want all Sentinel pilots on site within 12 hours. As Marcus hurried to comply, Sarah approached one of the chairs. These devices represented humanity's greatest secret, the ability to interface human consciousness directly with quantum systems. It had started as a classified military project decades ago, but it had evolved into something far more significant. Humanity had known they weren't alone in the universe. They had known for longer than anyone suspected. But instead of announcing this to the world and causing panic, a secret coalition of nations had begun preparing. They had reversed-engineered fragments of alien technology found in ancient ruins, combined it with human innovation, and created something entirely new. The facility's quantum AI, materialized as a holographic presence. "Commander, I've completed analysis of the signal's origin. It's coming from approximately 2,000 light-years away, but the quantum entanglement signature suggests they have observers much closer." "They've been watching us." Sarah nodded. "Probably for centuries. And now, they need our help badly enough to break their own protocols." She opened a secure channel to the other Sentinel facilities hidden around the globe. Similar installations existed beneath the Sahara, the Antarctic ice, and the Pacific Ocean. Each housed a piece of humanity's secret space fleet, ships that combined alien quantum technology with uniquely human innovations. "How long until the world's governments make an official response to the signal?" she asked Marcus. "At the current rate of verification and analysis, approximately 72 hours before they reach a consensus on how to respond." Sarah's smile widened slightly. "We'll beat them to it. Activate the quantum beacon. Let's show our watchers that we've been preparing for this moment." Deep beneath the Earth's surface, engines that defied conventional physics began to power up. The pilots of Project Sentinel, each trained since childhood to interface with quantum technology, began arriving through secret transportation networks. They were humanity's hidden guardians, chosen for their unique ability to maintain stable consciousness patterns while interfacing with quantum systems. In her private quarters, Sarah reviewed the message they would send in response to the alien signal. It was simple but would demonstrate humanity's true level of advancement. A quantum-entangled transmission that would reach their observers instantaneously, containing technical specifications that would make it clear humanity wasn't as primitive as they appeared. "AI," she addressed the AI. "Show me the latest simulations of our quantum shield technology." The holographic display filled with complex mathematical models. Project Sentinel had developed defenses against various theoretical threats, including consciousness-based weapons. They hadn't known exactly what they were preparing for, but humanity's greatest minds had imagined every possibility they could think of. "Commander," Marcus called over the intercom, "you need to see this. The signal, it's changed." Sarah rushed back to the control room. The alien transmission had indeed shifted, becoming more complex, more urgent. Aria's translation matrices worked furiously to decode it. "They know we received their message," Aria announced. "And they know we understood more than we should have been able to. They're sending coordinates for a rendezvous point just beyond Mars' orbit." Sarah felt a surge of satisfaction. This was what Project Sentinel had been created for, not just to make first contact, but to meet advanced alien civilizations as equals. Humanity had spent generations preparing for this moment, driven by an instinctive understanding that they needed to be ready when it came. "Send the response," she ordered. "Let them know we're coming. And activate the Lazarus Protocol." Throughout the facility, hidden chambers began to open. The true scale of humanity's preparation became apparent as quantum-powered ships, barely larger than fighter jets, but capable of manipulating space-time itself, powered up their engines. Each vessel represented a perfect fusion of stolen alien science and human ingenuity, created by minds unfettered by conventional limitations. "It's time to show the galaxy what humanity can do," Sarah announced to her assembled pilots. "We've spent generations preparing for this moment. While they watched us from the shadows, we were watching them back. Learning, adapting, creating." The first ships began to rise through hidden launch tubes, their quantum drives bending light around them to maintain perfect stealth. To the rest of the world, nothing unusual was happening, just another night in the Atacama Desert. But in reality, humanity's first official interstellar mission was launching, led by people who had trained their entire lives for this moment. As Sarah strapped herself into her command chair, interfacing with her ship's quantum systems, she felt a fierce pride in what humanity had accomplished. They had taken fragments of advanced technology, and through sheer determination and creativity, built something unique, something that might just be exactly what the galaxy needed. "All ships, prepare for quantum transition," she ordered. "Let's go meet our neighbors and find out what has them so scared." The ships of Project Sentinel rose silently into the night sky, carrying with them humanity's best hope for facing whatever threat had driven an advanced alien civilization to break their own rules and ask for help. The moment of revelation was at hand, and humanity was ready. The rendezvous point near Mars' orbit became a moment of revelation for both humanity and the Nexus Alliance. High Observer Zyra-Ktol's crystalline vessel dwarfed the human ships, its transparent hull revealing corridors that seemed to defy Euclidean geometry. Yet it was the Alliance delegation that stood speechless as they examined the human vessel's quantum signatures. "Impossible," Val Rem whispered, his sensor arrays pulsing with disbelief. "These designs, they're using quantum entanglement principles we've never even theorized." Commander Sarah Chen stood confidently before the Alliance representatives, her neural interface subtly gathering data about their biology and technology. "We've had 70 years to study the wreckage you deliberately left for us to find," she said, watching their reactions carefully. "Did you think we wouldn't recognize your tests? The carefully broken pieces of technology, just advanced enough to hint at greater possibilities." Zira's outer membrane rippled with what might have been embarrassment. "We needed to understand how your species would approach unknown technology. Every other race we tested simply tried to replicate what they found. But you," she gestured at the human ships, "you took basic principles and developed them in ways we never imagined possible." The conversation was interrupted by a priority alert. The Void Swarm had just consumed another system, this one only 50 light-years from Earth. The Alliance's quantum displays showed the familiar pattern, billions of minds simply vanishing, leaving behind empty bodies and functioning technology. "Show us exactly what we're dealing with," Sarah demanded. "No more tests, no more observations. If you want our help, we need to know everything." The Alliance's quantum projectors created a full simulation of the Void Swarm's attack pattern. It appeared as a wave of darkening consciousness, a cancer in the fabric of sentient thought itself. As they watched, the simulation showed how the swarm absorbed ordered consciousness patterns, growing stronger with each mind it consumed. "That's why you came to us," Sarah realized, her neural interface picking up patterns that organic minds might have missed. Human consciousness isn't ordered. We're quantum chaos incarnate. Zira confirmed this with a gesture that translated across species. Your minds are difficult for us to understand. You hold contradictory thoughts simultaneously. You believe in things you know are impossible. You hope when logic dictates despair. The void swarm consumes ordered consciousness, but your thought patterns are like jazz. Marcus Rivera offered from his position at the quantum controls. Improvised, unpredictable, but somehow it all works together. Sarah's neural interface suddenly lit up with an idea, the kind of intuitive leap that had always characterized human innovation. Araya, she called to the quantum AI. Show me the consciousness patterns of our quantum shield technology overlaid with the void swarm's absorption frequency. The resulting display caused even the Alliance scientists to step back in surprise. The quantum shields that Project Sentinel had developed weren't just defensive barriers. They were expressions of human consciousness patterns translated into energy fields. We need to move fast, Sarah announced, her mind already formulating a battle plan. The swarm's next target is the Proxima system. We'll make our stand there. The next 12 hours were a blur of preparation. The Alliance provided their most advanced data on the void swarm, while the humans shared their innovations in quantum consciousness technology. Together, they modified the human ship's quantum shields to project chaotic consciousness patterns on a massive scale. Operation Stormbreaker began at the edge of the Proxima system. 12 human ships, each piloted by a consciousness-linked human operator, arranged themselves in a formation that the Alliance tacticians insisted was completely illogical. The void swarm approached like a tide of unlight, consuming ordered patterns of thought and energy. All pilots, Sarah broadcast from her command ship, activate your quantum jazz protocols. Let's show this thing what human minds can do. The human ships began broadcasting their modified quantum shields, but not in the orderly, synchronized pattern that the Alliance had expected. Each pilot improvised, creating unique patterns of conscious energy that shifted and changed unpredictably. The effect was like throwing quantum static into the void swarm's perfectly ordered consumption patterns. The result was immediate and dramatic. Where the quantum jazz field touched the void swarm, the entity recoiled as if in pain. It couldn't process the chaotic patterns of human consciousness projected through the quantum shields. More importantly, it couldn't absorb them. It's working. Marcus shouted over the quantum comm. The swarm can't maintain cohesion when exposed to human consciousness patterns. But the void swarm was not defeated easily. It attempted to adapt, to find patterns in the chaos, to predict and counter the human defense. This was where humanity's greatest strength came into play. True unpredictability. Sarah's voice carried across all frequencies. All pilots, free improvisation. Don't think, don't plan, just react. Let your minds run wild. The human pilots released their conscious controls, allowing their subconscious minds to direct the quantum shields. Dreams, fears, hopes, random thoughts, and impossible ideas, all translated into energy patterns that the void swarm couldn't process. The quantum jazz became a typhoon of consciousness, erratic and beautiful in its chaos. The Alliance observers watched in amazement as the void swarm began to fragment. Wherever it encountered the human quantum patterns, it lost cohesion. The consciousness patterns it had absorbed began to break free, released from the ordered structure that had trapped them. We're not just blocking it, Sarah realized, her neural interface giving her a deeper understanding of what was happening. We're showing the consumed consciousness patterns how to break free. We're teaching them to embrace chaos. The battle lasted for hours, human unpredictability against the void's perfect order. When it was over, the Proxima system remained free, and a significant portion of the void swarm had been disrupted, its stolen consciousness patterns liberated. In the aftermath, Zyra approached Sarah with what the human commander's neural interface interpreted as profound respect. "We thought we needed your help," the High Observer said, "but we didn't understand what that meant. You haven't just given us a weapon against the void swarm. You've shown us a new way of thinking." Sarah smiled, already formulating plans for the battles to come. "That's what humans do best," she said. "We don't just solve problems. We rewrite the rules that make them problems in the first place." The victory at Proxima was just the beginning. The void swarm was still vast, still consuming worlds. But for the first time since it appeared, the galaxy had hope. Humanity had proven that their chaotic, impossible, beautiful minds were exactly what was needed to fight an enemy that fed on order and predictability. As the human ships prepared to return to Earth to begin full-scale production of quantum jazz projectors, Sarah sent a final message to all channels. The galaxy tried to fight chaos with order, and order lost. Now it's time to fight chaos with chaos. And humanity wrote the book on beautiful chaos. In the weeks following the Proxima victory, Project Sentinel's underground facility transformed into a hub of unprecedented collaboration. Alliance scientists worked alongside human researchers, their different approaches to problem-solving, creating exactly the kind of cognitive dissonance that proved so effective against the void swarm. Sarah Chen stood in the newly expanded quantum laboratory, watching as Dr. Rivera and a crystalline alliance scientist named Ixith conducted their latest consciousness mapping experiment. On the quantum display before them, a human pilot's neural patterns danced like aurora borealis. There, Ixith indicated their crystalline form refracting light in patterns of excitement. Do you see it? The quantum entanglement occurs naturally in human minds. It's not just random chaos, it's structured unpredictability. Marcus nodded, his fingers manipulating the holographic controls. Like fractals, patterns within patterns, but never quite repeating, never fully predictable. The discovery had come almost by accident. While studying why human consciousness was so effective against the void swarm, Alliance scientists had found something extraordinary. Human brains naturally performed quantum computations in their neural networks. While other species had evolved toward ordered, logical thought patterns, humans had developed quantum neural pathways that operated on multiple levels simultaneously. "Show me the comparison again," Sarah requested. The display split, showing an Alliance mind alongside a human one. The Alliance consciousness was beautiful in its complexity, like a perfectly designed crystal. The human mind, by contrast, looked like a storm of possibilities, thoughts existing in multiple states simultaneously. "We don't just think outside the box," Marcus explained. "We exist outside it. Every human mind is a quantum computer performing calculations that shouldn't be possible in organic matter." This revelation had led to a breakthrough. Instead of trying to replicate human consciousness patterns artificially, they began developing technology that could amplify and project the natural quantum states of human minds. The result was a new kind of hybrid technology that combined Alliance quantum engineering with human neural patterns. Commander Sarah's holographic form materialized. The first prototype of the neural quantum amplifier is ready for testing. Sarah followed the AI's indication to a chamber where a modified pilot's chair waited. Unlike the previous neural interfaces, this one was designed to dive deeper into the quantum aspects of human consciousness. It was a perfect fusion of Alliance crystalline technology and human neural science. "The risks are significant," Ixth warned. "We're talking about amplifying quantum neural patterns to levels never before attempted. The human mind was not designed to." "The human mind," Sarah interrupted, "wasn't designed at all. That's our strength." She settled into the chair, allowing the neural interfaces to connect. "We evolved to break rules that other species don't even realize exist." The activation sequence began. Sarah felt her consciousness expand as the quantum amplifier engaged. Her thoughts spread across multiple quantum states simultaneously, exactly as they naturally did but magnified 1,000-fold. Through the amplifier, she could sense the quantum fabric of space-time itself. Neural quantum coherence at 300% normal levels, Marcus reported. 400%, 500%, holding stable. In Sarah's expanded consciousness, she could see things that shouldn't have been possible. The quantum strings that connected all consciousness in the galaxy became visible. She could see the void swarm for what it truly was, not just a consumer of consciousness, but a force trying to impose perfect order on the quantum chaos of thought itself. "That's it," she whispered, her voice carrying quantum harmonics that made the Alliance scientists step back. "The void swarm isn't just consuming consciousness. It's trying to force the quantum evolution of thought toward perfect order. It's afraid of chaos." Through her amplified quantum senses, Sarah could feel other human pilots connecting to their own amplifiers around the world. Each human mind added new layers of beautiful chaos to the quantum field. Together, they weren't just creating discord. They were composing a symphony of quantum possibility. "All pilots," she broadcast through quantum channels, "initiate consciousness link. Let's show the galaxy what human minds can really do." The linked human consciousness created something entirely new, a quantum field of structured chaos that spread through space-time itself. Alliance observers watched in awe as the human pilots essentially rewrote the quantum laws that the void swarm relied upon. "This is impossible," Val-Rem whispered, having arrived to witness the test. "They're not just resisting the quantum order, they're creating new forms of quantum chaos that can propagate through space-time." Zira's outer membrane rippled with something approaching joy. "No, old friend. They're teaching the galaxy how to dream again." Every species the void swarm consumed was locked into patterns of perfect order. Humans are showing them how to break free. Through the quantum network, Sarah could feel the consciousness patterns of consumed species beginning to resonate with the human quantum field. The chaos was infectious, spreading through the ordered patterns the void swarm had created, teaching billions of minds how to think in quantum possibilities again. "We need to scale this up," Sarah announced, disengaging from the amplifier. "Every human pilot, every quantum ship we have, we're not just going to fight the void swarm. We're going to remind the galaxy how to be truly alive." The Alliance scientists worked furiously to produce more neural quantum amplifiers as Earth's hidden fleet grew. Every ship was equipped with the new technology, allowing human pilots to project their quantum consciousness across vast distances of space. But the void swarm was learning too. It began to adapt, trying to predict and counter even the chaos of human thought. The final battle would require something even more extraordinary, something that only human minds could conceive. As Sarah studied the battle plans with her team, she realized that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or even their quantum consciousness. It was their ability to imagine the impossible and then make it real. "We've been thinking too logically," she announced to the assembled human and Alliance leaders. "Even our chaos has been following certain patterns. For the final battle, we need to do something truly human, something so impossible that even we don't believe it can work." The room fell silent as Sarah revealed her plan. It was absurd, dangerous, and completely impossible. In other words, it was exactly what they needed. "That's not a battle plan," Val-Rem objected. "That's pure madness." Sarah smiled. "Exactly. And madness is humanity's specialty." The plan was, as humans would say, completely insane. The combined fleet of Earth's quantum ships and Alliance vessels gathered at the edge of the void swarm's largest concentration. Nearly 10,000 human pilots were connected through neural quantum amplifiers, their minds linking together in a storm of conscious chaos that defied the laws of physics themselves. Commander Sarah Chen, at the center of this quantum web of human consciousness, addressed the fleet. "What we're about to attempt has never been done before. We're going to dream a new reality into existence, not through technology or weapons, but through the pure, impossible power of human imagination." The plan was simple in concept but seemingly impossible in execution. They would use the amplified quantum consciousness of 10,000 human minds to literally rewrite the laws of reality within the void swarm's domain. Not through force or technology, but through pure, unfettered human creativity. "All pilots," Sarah broadcast, "disengage your logical constraints. Don't think about what's possible. Think about what should be possible. Dream with everything you have. Through the quantum network, human minds began to merge and expand. Each consciousness remained distinct, adding its own flavor of chaos to the whole. Artists dreamed in colors that couldn't exist. Musicians composed symphonies of quantum possibility. Scientists imagined new laws of physics. Children, specially chosen for their unlimited imagination, dreamed of worlds where anything was possible. The void swarm sensed the approaching storm of human consciousness and reacted. It tried to impose order, to force reality to behave according to strict logical rules. But it faced something it had never encountered before: the collective imagination of humanity, amplified and unleashed. Now, Sarah commanded, "Everyone, dream." 10,000 human minds, backed by Alliance quantum technology, released their hold on conventional reality. Through their amplified consciousness, they began to rewrite the quantum fabric of space-time itself. Colors that couldn't exist blazed across the void. Physical laws rewrote themselves according to the dreams of children. The impossible became merely improbable, and then became real. The void swarm, faced with this tsunami of pure imagination, began to fracture. Its perfectly ordered patterns couldn't adapt to a reality that changed with every human thought. The consciousness patterns it had consumed began to resonate with the human quantum field, remembering their own capacity for dreams and chaos. "It's working," Marcus shouted through the quantum link. "The consumed consciousness patterns are breaking free." But the void swarm wouldn't go quietly. It launched a desperate counterattack, trying to impose absolute order on the human quantum field. Several pilots screamed as their minds encountered perfect logic, a poison to human consciousness. Sarah dove deeper into the quantum field, her amplified mind reaching out to the injured pilots. "Remember who we are," she broadcast. "We're the species that looked at the stars and said we belong up there. We're the ones who dreamed of flying before we could walk, who imagined talking across continents before we had electricity. Reality told us our dreams were impossible, and we said, 'Watch us.'" Through the quantum network, she shared humanity's history, not the dry facts, but the dreams that drove them. The Wright brothers imagining flight, Einstein dreaming about riding a beam of light, children looking up at the moon and saying someday. The void swarm's attack faltered as it encountered something it couldn't process: hope. Not logical, reasoned expectation, but pure human hope. The ability to believe in something better even when all evidence said it was impossible. "Push harder," Sarah commanded. "Show the galaxy how to dream again." The human quantum field erupted with pure creativity. 10,000 minds dreamed of new possibilities, new ways of thinking, new forms of existence. The quantum fabric of reality itself began to resonate with human imagination. The void swarm, that great consumer of consciousness, found itself being transformed. The order it had imposed began to dissolve, replaced by something new: a harmony of chaos and order, logic and dreams, possibility and probability. Through her quantum-enhanced senses, Sarah felt the moment everything changed. The void swarm didn't die or disappear. It evolved. The consciousness patterns it had consumed were freed, but more than that, they were transformed. Each mind remembered how to dream, how to imagine, how to believe in the impossible. As the quantum storm subsided, the galaxy itself seemed different. The Alliance scientists reported changes they couldn't explain: quantum patterns that shouldn't be possible, new forms of consciousness emerging from the chaos. "What have you done?" Zyra asked in awe, her crystalline form refracting light in patterns never before seen. Sarah smiled as she disengaged from the quantum amplifier. "We taught the galaxy how to dream again. Every consciousness the void swarm consumed has been freed, but they're different now. They remember how to imagine, how to create, how to believe in the impossible." The aftermath of the battle marked the beginning of a new era in galactic history. The Alliance discovered that their own consciousness patterns had been permanently altered by exposure to human quantum chaos. They found themselves capable of new forms of thought, new ways of approaching problems. Humanity, far from returning to isolation on Earth, became the galaxy's teachers in the art of controlled chaos. The neural quantum amplifiers were modified to help other species rediscover their capacity for imagination and dreams. "We thought we needed you to fight a war," Zyra told Sarah during the victory celebration. "Instead, you taught us how to be truly alive again." Sarah watched as human and alien minds collaborated in new ways, creating art and technology that neither could have imagined alone. "That's the real power of humanity," she said. "Not our technology or our weapons, but our ability to look at the impossible and say, why not?" The galaxy would never be the same. The perfect order of the void swarm had been replaced by something far more beautiful, a harmony of logic and chaos, reason and dreams, probability and possibility. And at the heart of it all was humanity, the species that had looked into the depths of space and dared to dream of something more. As Sarah stood on the observation deck of the Alliance's central hub, watching ships from 1,000 worlds moving through patterns that defied conventional physics, she smiled. The stars seemed brighter somehow, as if they too had learned to dream. "Ready for the next impossible thing?" Marcus asked, joining her at the window. Sarah laughed. "Always. After all, that's what humans do best. We dream up new impossibilities to overcome." And somewhere in the quantum fabric of space-time, 10,000 human dreams continued to echo, teaching the galaxy that the most powerful force in existence wasn't order or chaos, but the ability to imagine something better and make it real.